Welcome back with Happy Chappy. So this is just something I wrote out yesterday or the day before. It's kind of doing it like a mini course. And hopefully I'll let you understand about sin and how sin has a hold on us and how we have a belief. So, disobedience. We lack to understand our problem. We rather have others just listen and tell us that it's okay, justifying our problem. So, no, I'll just go on. So, what happens? We have a problem and we just want to get it out there to feel that the weight has been lifted off us. Now, when somebody supports us and says that's okay, it's okay to have that problem, then that supports us to have more problems like that. That it was okay for that problem to be there in the first place. But was it? So what's the solution? Not to support it. The what not to do's. Not to speak of it without looking for an answer. So the recipient would not just listen and support what you're saying, but would look at what you're saying and tell you honestly back to yourself a solution if they had one, the truth of it and how they've seen it, instead of supporting your disbelief that this is okay to be in this way. For example, if someone had an addiction and they relapsed, and they said they're relapsed or not happy with themselves, and you support her by saying, well, here, it's just this time, you can move on, it'll be okay. Then you're kind of saying, well, it's okay to relapse. But is it? The more relapses you have, you just keep it into that addiction to say that it's okay to go back to it. So what if you said something like redirection? Well, what made you go back to it? When did this happen? What were you thinking? What was going on in your brain? What day of the week it was? The timing, who was around you, what was the surroundings like? For example, what you might find is, well, a drinker, you might possibly find that they may not drink all the time, but at the weekends when most of the people are out, where they like to socialize. So the addiction could possibly, in a relapse, come at a weekend, because that's when they're going to feel there's more of an event when people's around. And so they're going to get to see somebody that they're going to relate to. And so making the person recognize their own scene and what they create before they get to the addiction. And to be able to create a new scene. So they got a feeling from that scene. So what else do they like to do that's not related to the addiction? So you would ask them. And when they give you the answer, you ask them then, well, what brings that about? Did you get that feeling? Did you enjoy that? What put you into that scene? When do you like to do it? Who do you like to be there? Where do you like to do it? and making them put that picture into their mind. So then whenever the addiction possibly arises again, they're able to switch that scene into their good scene so they can take themselves from the addiction to whatever else they like to do, which will take them out of the addiction. Creating a new scene, creating a new choice in the direction that they take. So what I got was original sin. We want others to forgive in saying it's okay. We get it hard to accept it when somebody gives us a solution, because that means we're going to have to change something about us. And so we look at it as a problem that makes it more complex. So if you give them something like a question in something that they enjoy, so you're giving them a choice. Everyone likes choice. If you're told that you're only allowed this pen, you'd be like, all right, okay. But if I give you a choice of 4 or 5 pens, you'd be more excited to grab a pen because you have a choice. And just like that, what you do with the scene is create choices. And you don't have to do this with one, you could do it with multiple. And so when the person comes to that addiction and they've got multiple choices to go to, well, they're liable not to pick up the addiction because they know that that's what they're battling, and they've got many other good choices to go to. Another says it's okay. Then it's okay to have such a problem for it not to be fixed. Sinning, not forgiving. So what we're doing is creating sin. We know it's wrong what we're doing in the addiction, and we're being sinful. And when somebody supports that, they're supporting the sin. So saying it's okay to sin. And so we carry on in our addiction, but we don't get rid of that feeling of knowing that we're sinning. And because we are sinning, we are always eaten up inside of what we're doing, in regret for every time that we cross that barrier into the addiction. So then we regret what we've done because we know it's sinful and we know it's wrong. Yet we go and do it because we're supported by others that says it's okay. And until we face that, helpful with multiple choice in scenes that we create, then we can escape from that sin that we hold ourselves into and release it, bringing forgiveness for oneself, understanding that this happens. We can move on. We don't have to stay in it. We move on from it by moving into different scenes. And what you find if you don't is transgression, which brings fear, shame, and death. The fear that you're going to go there again, the shame of it when you go there, the death of the spiritual side of who you are. The spiritual side being the person who can create these new scenes. But yet you physically stay with the scene that you created in the physical illusion that this is all that you can do, is be in this addiction. While spiritually you can create more scenes to take your physical being into a new reality. And so it could be a new version of you. Anyway, as I say, this is only something I wrote out the other day, or maybe it was yesterday. But hopefully this gives you a better understanding of how the spiritual side can help you change in who you are. If you're having a difficult time with the direction of life and you want to make a change, you need to start creating new scenes. Looking at the scenes that maybe in the past that you've created and that was good for you, and maybe you want to go back to them. Or maybe you want to create a new scene that you would like to do, and maybe go out and adventure into it and make it happen so you have it to remember. Anyway, hopefully this helps you, helped me, and it's why I wrote it out. Anyway, thank you again for watching, and hopefully it helps. Love and peace.